Hello, my name is Mike. And what's your name? Tell me your name again. That's a great name. Tell me, do you like stories? You do? That's great. I would like to read you a story. It is called The Tippy Toe Club, written by Mike Dunlop. That's me. And illustrated by Beck Sutton. I really hope you enjoy it. Shall we read it now? In the dark of the night, all across the land, something happens that grown-ups won't understand. It happens when they're all fast asleep, as around the house little ones will creep. How is it, you ask, that these grown-ups wouldn't know? They're creeping around on their tip-tippy-toes. Take little Milly, for instance, and her desire for a snack. But if she was found out of bed, she would be asked to go back. She zooms across the landing and down the wooden stairs, keeping her mum, dad and cat completely unaware. No one can stop her, so into the kitchen she goes, being ever so quiet, up on tip-tippy-toes. Tippy-toes, tippy-toes, she's walking on her tippy-toes. No one can hear where she goes when she walks on tippy-toes. Now here's little Peter, who wants to play with his toys, but it's gone past midnight, so he can't make any noise. He uses a trick to make sure his parents don't know, and that trick is to creep up on his tip-tippy-toes. Tippy-toes, tippy-toes, he's walking on his tippy-toes. No one can hear where he goes when he walks on tippy-toes. But our story is focused on Ruby and Carter, two little children who are full of joy and laughter. Yet at this moment they lie awake in their beds, with thoughts spinning round in their itty-bitty heads. They stare into the darkness, their minds running free, but they want to be downstairs, sat watching TV. There is no one around. The coast seems to be clear. The chance of watching TV is ever so near. They sneak across the landing. Down the stairs they go, making no sound whilst up on their tip-tippy-toes. Tippy-toes, tippy-toes, they're creeping on their tippy-toes. No one can hear where they go when they walk on tippy-toes. Now they're downstairs and the lounge is in sight, trying not to giggle with all of their might. They're getting excited. They have goose pimply skin. Their feet are now cold as they've reached the kitchen. Still up on tippy-toes, it's the quietest creep they've ever had. Because they're up on their tip-tippy-toes, they won't be heard by Dad! The children are given such a startling fright as Dad has just stood there in the dark of the night. The kids think they're in trouble, as they should be fast asleep. But Dad isn't angry. Instead, he's as white as a sheet. So why is Dad stood here, being ever so quiet? Look! He's eating cake! But Dad should be on a diet! Dad put the cake down with his face looking sad, knowing that if Mum knew then she would be mad. The kids were puzzled and surprised at what they'd found. How could Dad have got down here without making a sound? He is known to make noise wherever he goes. It's like he was up on his tip-tippy-toes. Dad puts his finger to his lips and gives out a shush, then turns the children around with a soft, gentle push. Ever so quietly, they head back down the hall, with their hands out wide, being guided by the wall. The children look behind, and wouldn't you know, Dad was also up on his Tip-tippy-toes. Tippy-toes, tippy-toes, they're creeping on their tippy-toes. No one can hear where they go when they walk on tippy-toes. Now back in their room they say good-night to their dad. They climb into bed. What an adventure they've had. They would never have thought that their dad would know how to move around the house without making a sound. But it's so obvious now from what he just did. Dad remembers tippy-toes from when he was a kid. Tippy-toes, tippy-toes, you need to creep on tippy-toes. No one can hear where you go when you creep on tippy-toes.
That was a good story, wasn't it? Those children thought they were being naughty, but they actually found their dad being even more naughty when he was found eating cake in the kitchen. Who would have thought that their daddy knew how to walk on tippy toes? Please, promise me you will not get caught creeping around on your tippy toes after bedtime. I hope you enjoyed the story. Goodbye.